Wow, my stomach is hella growling. That was so loud. Are you hungry? It's okay. I just gave you a bar this morning. What you talking about? She'll be fed soon. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Seyi and this is the Daily Seyi, where we talk about all things life, beauty, style, etc, etc. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in and being a real one. Today's video is another chitty chat. I was gonna try to do this like a get ready with me chitty chat, but I realized multitasking in that way, like trying to form my thoughts while also trying to make sure I apply my makeup properly, is very difficult. So I'm just gonna sit here and talk for a little bit about a couple things that I've just feel like I want to talk about. And I feel like, you know, perhaps I'm alone in this feeling, but this season, because it is definitely a season, it just has been feeling extremely introspective and retrospective for me. And I feel like I've been deep in thought and kind of trying to understand, what am I doing with my life? Like, you know, what type of impact am I making? What type of footprint am I leaving here in the world? Now, that's not to say like I don't feel like, you know, death is knocking at my door or anything, but I think in moments like these, you do become a bit more aware of like, what exactly am I doing and am I fulfilling my purpose? I can most definitely say that feeling like you're not fulfilling your purpose definitely feels quite empty. And so I've been really thinking about that lately because I don't know, I think, you know, I'm someone who wants to make sure that I'm in alignment with my purpose. And there are a lot of times where I don't feel that way, to be completely honest. And then it kind of gets to me because I feel like, what am I doing then? And even as like a content creator, you know, still I kind of always trying to think, I'm like, okay, what's my end goal here? What's my end game? And not saying that you need to always know what your end game is, because sometimes end game, I feel like the end goals can shift. So in that introspection, I'm like, okay, you know what? I feel like I've been in this position where I want to grow my relationship more with Christ. And backstory, I grew up in the faith, you know, was baptized when I was like 8 or 9, which I'm definitely thinking it's time for me to get baptized again, because I'm definitely in a different place than I was at 9. Like, I don't know what I was doing. I was just like, okay. Yeah, so lately I've been more in tune with God, I feel like. Now, I will admit that there have been moments where I feel like he's silent. And for me, that is like, I don't like when people are silent in general. Like, if you're giving me the silent treatment, I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is this? So when it feels like God is doing that, I'm like, I think there's just some periods where it's just like, okay, just seek me. And I think that's the period I'm in, where I'm just seeking God, not for any other reason than just to understand and have understanding for my life, and not to like be on the same level as God, but just to get some clarity on like my life and, you know, how the word kind of can definitely provide the keys to living your best life, but still, and even living life in spite of things happening like a global pandemic. I've been making it a point to like do my Bible study every morning, which I am thinking about doing a video on how I Bible study, because I feel like it can be helpful, because it's just a method that I've kind of recently started doing, and it's actually been extremely helpful. As someone who grew up in the faith, you know, I can admit that you can experience like fatigue. I feel like before my mom passed, I was doing what I needed to do. Like, you know, I just felt like, okay, if I do this, then I get this. If I act like a good girl or whatever, a good woman, then I will get XYZ. And I think that thought process has definitely changed post my mom passing away, because it kind of, that event sort of shifted completely my thought process on how I approach my faith. Wow, my stomach is hella growling. If my mic picks up that growl, that is so embarrassing. That was so loud. Are you hungry? It's okay. I just gave you a bar this morning. What you talking about? She'll be fed soon. You know, I definitely have a lot more to say about this, but I don't want this whole video to be about that in particular. But I think that I have been, it's been eye-opening in a good way for me to kind of understand what is it that You know, what do I want to hear from God? And I think the only way for me to actually kind of really tune my ear to what God is saying is to tune my eyes to the word. There's no way I can hear from him if I'm like kind of inundated with everything else that's going on outside of, you know, the word itself. Versus when I am in the word, I do feel like I do get messages and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Okay. All that to say, it's a process. Like with anything in life, faith is definitely a journey. I don't think there's necessarily an end destination with it, because if there was, then we likely wouldn't need Jesus. And so it's eye-opening, but in a good way. And I do feel like more refreshed. That's not to say there are times where I don't feel frustrated. Like there are still frustrations happening in my life where I'm just like, but being able to turn to the word is refreshing in that sense, where I feel like, okay, I feel this way, but I don't feel like it's the end of the world per se. I'm just annoyed with it right now. That's part one of me quarantining, kind of really being intentional about sitting down and, you know, opening my Bible and getting more into the word every day. It's so funny because, you know, we're here, you try to stay as active as possible. Like I'm running now, or getting back into running, and I was training for a half marathon. I think I mentioned that in one of these videos, but I was training for a half marathon, the Nike half marathon, then they canceled it, obviously. And so I stopped training, but then finally, like a month ago, I was like, okay, let me like get back into running, because I actually did enjoy it. Not like it's the best thing ever. Like if I had a choice between running or like going shopping, I'm definitely going shopping. Like there is no comparison there. But when I am running, I do feel good. I feel tired, but I do feel good afterwards. And so anyway, I've been running more, but I've been trying to make sure that I'm running, you know, just for the sake of me running. I can admit that with working out, there's this tendency that you're like, you know, you're working out and, you know, you want to be heart healthy and like physically strong and all that stuff. But then I don't want to get to a place where I'm working out solely to see like physical changes. Now, I'm not going to lie and say I'm not working out to see physical changes. Like, yes, I am. Yes, I do workouts, you know, because there are certain physical changes that I want to see. But that is not the crux of why I work out. And I don't want that to be the crux of why I work out. But segueing that into kind of this, me and my friends had this like kind of back and forth about plastic surgery and our thoughts on it. And I was saying, I'm like, I have thought about it. I definitely have thought about it. There was one time I was literally looking at the mirror and I was quite literally contorting my body, kind of like trying to see like what it would look like if, you know, my stomach was flatter, or my hips were a bit more wide, or my butt was a bit more lifted. Like legit, I was in the mirror, like manipulating my body to see what it would look like. And I stopped and I was like, oh my God. I caught myself because I was like, what am I doing? I was so in the zone of doing it that I didn't fully realize what I was doing until I finally looked at myself and like mid holding my stomach up, I'm like, what? Girl, sit yourself down on that couch right now. So I sat myself down on the couch and I really thought, and I was like, wow, for that, like those like 3 minutes, whatever, how long I was staring at the mirror, I was thinking, I was like, what if I just got surgery to kind of like suck this in? And what if I got a little surgery to bring my hips out a bit more? Or what if I got a little surgery to give me like a little bit more of a dip in my back, or et cetera, et cetera. Like I was literally thinking about all those things. No, I will not get surgery. Even if I have the means to do it, I won't do it. Now, again, people get surgery for different reasons. There are like serious medical reasons where people need to get like breast reductions, or they need to get their nose fixed because it's stopping like their breathing action, or things like that. And yeah, I mean, if it's like altering your life for the worse, then I'm all for, you know, doing what you need to do. There's a lot of surgery that's specifically for aesthetics. Like, let's not beat around the bush and say that it's not. You know, I think everybody has their own opinion on it. I think it's hard because I'm somebody who definitely is big on like self-love and accepting who I am. But people can make the argument like, okay, well, if you get braces, you know, do you not accept your teeth the way they are? Or if you like, you know, work out to get abs, do you not accept your belly the way it is? Or if you get a weave, do you not accept your hair the way it is? Like, you know, all these different things you could do to alter. Sorry, I just have random stuff in my hand. It was lip gloss at one point, now it's my camera lens cap, I don't know. But all these things to alter the way you look, people can bring that all into the argument and say like, well, doesn't that mean that you don't really love yourself? And I don't necessarily think that, to be completely honest. I do think like getting braces, sure. You want to straighten your teeth? Okay, sure, why not? You know, getting a boob job, you know, is it necessary. It's not a necessary thing to do. Like, if we're gonna be 100%, I don't think it's necessary at all. But if you want to do it, then hey, you go ahead and do it. And there are some people who have different levels where they're just like, I just want to get my boob job. Like, I just want to get my boobs done, and that's pretty much like, that's it. Like, I know there's nothing else I want to do, and I'm like, hey, more power to you. Like, I know people like that, and honestly, I don't judge at all. I'm speaking specifically for me now because I know how my mind works and I know how my mind operates. Like I mentioned before, I'm a recovering perfectionist. So in me being this recovering perfectionist, if I try to do something to try to make me look more perfect, I'm going to attempt to try to fix everything else that I feel like is not perfect. And that's just what it is. And so in order to not do that, I'm just not gonna do it. I'm just not gonna do it. I just won't do it. I just cannot, because I know the kind of path that I could potentially go down. Now, I don't know. I mean, maybe I could just get one thing done. I'm like, okay, that's it. My stomach is an area of like insecurity for me. I wish it was flatter. Now, sure, I could probably like cut out all the sugars in my diet. Am I gonna do that? No. Why? Because life is short and you need to enjoy yourself, okay? I make sure that I'm not like binging on candy every single day, because it's just like for my own personal, internal health. But also it's like, okay, obviously like physical transformations happen from a combination of working out and mainly eating a certain type of way. And so I'm rambling. I'm not gonna do it, but I've thought about it, but I ain't gonna do it. But who knows? Future me may feel very differently with that. Honestly, future me may feel very, very differently with that. Man, YouTube is hard, y'all. And that's my third thing. YouTube is hard. It's really hard, and I'm really trying because it's something that I really do want to put my all into, but I will be lying if I said it wasn't difficult in terms of time. Like, I work still. Like, I still work a full-time 9-to-5 job, and so my filming schedule is the weekend, and I really don't like to do stuff on Sundays because I truly am now feeling like this is the day of the rest of the rest. This is the day of rest that the Lord said. So look, I'm trying to rest. And usually Sundays come around and I'm just like, I don't really feel like setting up the equipment. Like, I have to set up the background, set up the camera, set up the tethering, set up my little table. Like, it's a lot of effort, and I don't have like a filming room or anything like that just yet. And yeah, it just takes a lot of effort. And then the editing, and I usually have to batch create videos because, again, I really only have like Saturday to record. And if I'm trying to do 2 to 3 videos a week, that means I have to record all 3 videos on a Saturday. What I say, it's just a lot. It's tiring, and I do enjoy it though. That's the thing. Like, once I put the video up, I'm very happy and I'm like, yes, I did it. And when I'm editing it, I'm actually really enjoying the editing process. But again, I would be lying if I said it wasn't a lot. And I feel like, this whole content creating lifestyle, I've been doing it for a while now. Again, I also don't want to focus on just like growing. Obviously, growth is like part of it. Like, I do want to grow. Like, I do want to grow this channel. I want it to be bigger than what it is right now. But I also just want to make sure that I am kind of staying focused on the why of me doing it, which is just to share like stuff like this. And all these thoughts, y'all, are running in my mind, and it stops me from kind of creating some stuff because I'm just scared. To be honest, I'm scared. I'm nervous because I'm like, what if it doesn't do well? What if it flops? And honestly, I mean, yeah, some videos just don't do well. But does it take away from the fact that, you were proud of that video? Like, there's a video I did, the Fox Eye tutorial, and I was so happy with that video. So happy. I was just like, yes, I love the quality. I just love the way my makeup came out. And I was just so happy with the way everything looked. And compared to the views that I usually get, which is not much, but still, like, it did not do that well. And I was a little heartbroken. I was like, all that energy and effort I spent. But I left it up there because I was like, I really like this video. Like, I like it. I like the way it looks. I like the way it came out. And that's what matters at the end of the day. Like, I like it. I like that I put myself out there. I like that I attempted something that I have never really done before. I like that I did that. And then I'm always concerned about time. And I'm like, am I talking too much? Do people even care? Will they stay for this long? Again, I could have done this while I was doing my makeup to make it a bit more interesting, but then I was like, I don't want to do that. I just want to sit here and talk. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting here and talking, blending in with the background of my brown shirt and my brown background and my brown skin. All right, I think that's all I have. But I appreciate y'all for watching. If you got to the end of this video, thank you for tuning in, for staying tuned, for staying interested. I keep going like this. I don't know why. Anyway, I'll catch y'all in my next video. Until next time. Bye.
Started out with half and I flipped it into double. Started out with half and I flipped it into double.